Him and Jake Paul, to me, are kind of the same person at this point, except Jake Paul is a YouTube personality turned boxer. Ryan's a boxer turned YouTube personality.
Welcome, everyone, to Boxing Scene's Top Stories. I am George DeMatteis. Quick reminder to download the ProBox TV app where apps are available. Well, Ryan Garcia making news again. This time he's set to box in an exhibition match in Japan against kickboxer Rukiya Anop. And Garcia took to Twitter to talk about maybe exacting some revenge after Anop's last opponents. He said on Twitter, "All right, I've been quiet for some time, but I've been cooking on some plans before my actual return to the ring. Here is the plan before April. Exhibition in December in Japan against the guy who fought aging Manny Pacquiao obviously referring to, and tried to knock him out, and then go after Jake for Uncle Mike." We know that Garcia is currently serving a 12-month suspension for the use of PEDs as delivered by the New York State Athletic Commission. We know he mentioned it ends in April. All right, Chris. It seems like he's trying to circumvent the ban here with this exhibition in Japan. Is that what he's doing there? And should the New York State Athletic Commission intervene here?
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's what he's doing. He's circumventing the ban. He's keeping his profile up to date. He's keeping people tuning in. He's probably going to get paid very, very well. It's a quote-unquote exhibition. Should this be allowed? Absolutely not. But let's talk about what we actually have in front of us. This isn't that surprising. We saw Ryan Garcia in the ring after Anop and Manny Pacquiao fought. And, I mean, it's funny how he's trying to defend Manny Pacquiao now, because he was talking about fighting Manny that night, too. And in terms of, defending Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, him and Jake Paul, to me, are kind of the same person at this point, except Jake Paul is a YouTube personality turned boxer. Ryan's a boxer turned YouTube personality. So they're kind of the same thing, just different directions. So he does a great job of marketing himself into these situations. And as you said, I mean, I don't think he cares about any of the bans. I don't think he cares about any of this stuff. The kid makes plenty of money outside the ring. He's made plenty of money in the ring recently. And him staying busy, listen, I get it. He can, so he does. This is boxing. It's the Wild Wild West. There's no unified anything that's going to oversee what's going on. The New York Athletic Commission can try and come at this. I don't think they'll really have any grounds to get this done. And also, from my own experience, he's fighting a kickboxer. Kickboxing is addled with drugs, so in PEDs, and it's not really frowned upon the way it is in boxing on this side of the world. I'm not surprised with this one bit.
Yeah, Paulie, what do you make of this situation with him circumventing his ban, and then maybe if the New York State Athletic Commission should intervene in this?
I mean, it's an exhibition, right? So it doesn't even count. So technically, I mean, I don't know. I feel like technically, if it's an exhibition, he probably could have even done this in the United States, right? Or if you're suspended by the commission from competing. But an exhibition, nobody can stop you really from doing an exhibition. So I don't know that, even if this was in the United States, would there be, I mean, it's be frowned upon. I mean, I'm sure it's frowned upon even now, but, can you really stop the guy from doing that? I mean, he can say, hey, he's trying to, go make a living and, do whatever he's got to do. It's what he does, right? And it's what we all do. So I think anybody in his position would have probably looked to circumvent the system a little bit and tried to, go do this, keep himself busy. At least he keep himself in the gym this way, because you got to at least train for the exhibition. So you might as well, keep yourself busy.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe train.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And there's probably being an exhibition, there's no drug testing, so he can light himself on fire for all they care. He can. That'll be all right too.
Honestly, champ, I don't think they care over there anyway.
Yeah.
He's such a big star,
Yeah.
and I mean, it'll be exciting.
Yeah.
And I bet you his opponent doesn't really care that
Yeah,
much either.
and then the tweet of getting everybody back for the old guys in boxing. Yeah, I guess that's for likes.
Yeah.
You do it. As they say, you do it for the gram. He did it for Twitter. What are you gonna do? I don't think he actually really cares, but he did it for the gram.
Yeah. So this. Safe to say that this is a way for Garcia to kind of, well, first of all, stay in the spotlight. We all know that because he even said it in the tweet. He's back, but just keep his skills sharp for when that ban is over in April and he could get back in the ring and fight sanctioned fights, pretty much.
Yeah, I assume so. So this would certainly go. Listen, I know the champ's talking about he's a boxer turned YouTuber. He was kind of always an internet personality, just not as big as Jake Paul. So Jake Paul's profile is more of a YouTuber, internet guy, while Ryan actually had the whole amateur career and the build up the right way. So even though he's a YouTuber as well, he's also known as the legitimate boxer. But again, I've said it before. off of PEDs, he has, doesn't have a huge win. I think the Luke Campbell win is impressive. But, once he failed that PED test, you got to start wondering how long he's even been doing them to begin with, right? So, I don't know, man. I'm still questioning how world-class this guy really is. But in the meantime, his internet fame keeps him relevant, and people will watch.
So let me ask you champs, this question before we wrap it up here. We'll start with Chris. Chris, once the ban is over in April and he gets into the ring in a sanctioned fight against another boxer, who would you like to see him fight next?
Honestly, I'd like to know what weight class he's going to fight in. I think this one's at 153. That makes sense to me, which he's probably going to have to lose some weight to make that even, because the way he's been looking pretty beefy when he's been out and about town. So I really don't know where he'd be. He'd probably be a 47-pounder. Which, honestly, with what we saw this past weekend with Barrios and Ramos, it could be a world champion for once. If I finally get back in there with some of these welterweight guys. Ryan has good height and reach for the weight class. He's got a good left hook, obviously. He's very, very explosive. We saw that in the Devin Haney fight. So, I think at 147, I think there's a bunch of good fights for him to fight. The way that he moves, though, I mean, he does call out the best guys around. He doesn't really run from guys. So, whether he gets in the ring with them or not is one thing. But I'm curious to see, you never know with him, with Ryan, whether he actually comes back in April or not. Maybe he likes this exhibition run that he does. He just goes out to Japan and makes a ton of money, knocking out kickboxers. But you can never tell with Ryan. I cannot predict the future. I don't have a magic ball that's going to tell me what's going on in Ryan Garcia's future, because I don't even know if Ryan knows what's going on in Ryan's future.
So, Paulie, question to you there, and then also doubling off of the back of that, what would a Jake Paul Ryan Garcia fight do when it comes to the box office there? First, the question is, who would you like to see him fight next when the April ban is over, and then that Jake Paul Ryan Garcia matchup?
It doesn't matter who I want to see him fight next. I think he'll just take a comeback fight, sort of a re-entry fight, which is, kind of par for the course when you've taken a long layoff. So that's what I would expect, mid-range contender, sort of like that Duarte type of guy who he beat, not long ago. Maybe take that kind of opponent on again. Maybe not Duarte himself, but somebody like that, sort of to re-enter the fray.
How about Abel Ramos?
Yeah, maybe an Abel Ramos. Yeah, maybe the guy who just fought Barrios. Champ, you made a good point. The welterweight division is sort of starving for name and star recognition. And Ryan Garcia, for all criticisms that we have for him, he does bring that star power to there. So I think if Ryan would return at welterweight, he would become a very polarizing figure in a weight class that's starved for, name recognition. I think you would hope to eventually then move to bigger fights, such as, the Stanionis fight, or maybe the Ennis fight if Ennis stays at welterweight. But honestly, the welterweight division would probably be his oyster. He'd have a lot of options in and around that weight class. The Jake Paul fight's not going to happen, so I'm not going to talk about it.
One thing's for sure, I don't think he wants to go to 154 with all those thoroughbreds and great fighters at 154. I agree with you guys. 147 at welterweight is probably his best option. And of course, we will keep you up to date on the madness that is Ryan Garcia's fighting career here on Top Stories. Reminder to scan the QR code, like, subscribe, leave your comments on our YouTube channel, download the ProBox TV app, where apps are available, because you can watch the return of ProBox TV to Ireland, the Contender Series, December 7th, on the ProBox TV app and on YouTube as well. I'm George DeMatteis. This is Boxing Scene's Top Stories.
ProBox TV Contender Series. On December 7th, look for an all-out Irish war as Dylan the Real Deal Moran battles Tyrone the Mighty Celt McKenna at the top of a stacked ProBox-worthy card.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.